Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. I know how busy this time of year is. We're in that stretch between Thanksgiving and the winter break where the energy is high, but the to-do lists are long. So I appreciate you taking this time. Today, I want to wear two hats with you. One hat is the policy nerd hat, because as you know, I love diving into the SOPM and the Chancellor's regs to make sure we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's. But the other hat, and honestly, the more important one, is the teacher advocate hat. I want to make sure you feel supported, that you aren't taking work home unnecessarily, and that we are using the contractual rights we have to make this job doable. Because for effect, we're going to cover two main things today: transition goals, moving from the basics to the nitty-gritty, and progress monitoring, specifically regarding the upcoming December 15th deadline. Part 1. The philosophy of transition. Let's start with transition. Sometimes in the rush of the school year, transition plans can feel like just another section in CSIS to click through. But if we step back, this is actually the why behind everything we do. According to the Special Education Standard Operating Procedures Manual, the SOP, transition planning isn't just paperwork. It is a coordinated set of activities designed to facilitate the student's movement from school to post-school activities. Because think about that, post-school activities. We aren't just getting them to 8th grade graduation. We are looking at the long game. We are looking at where these students will be when they are 21, 25, 30. Now, here is the basic compliance piece we all need to know. For any student turning 14 years old, or younger if appropriate, the IEP must include measurable post-secondary goals. I want to emphasize that age 14. It used to be 15 years ago, but the current standard is that the IEP in effect when the student turns 14 must have these goals. That means for many of our 7th and 8th graders, this is happening now. Walk a few steps, engage the room. And for our younger students, specifically those turning 12, we need to remember the vocational assessment. The SOPM states a vocational assessment must first be completed for all students with disabilities at age 12. This isn't just checking a box. This involves a review of records, teacher assessments, and interviews with the student and parent to determine their skills, aptitudes, and interests. So, if you have a 12-year-old on your caseload, please check if that level 1 vocational interview has been done. It sets the stage for everything that comes later. Part 2. The intricacies of transition goals. Now, let's move from the basics to the intricacies. This is where the quality of the IEP really shines. A solid transition plan in CSIS has 3 distinct areas for post-secondary goals: education/training, employment, what job do they want? Independent living skills, if appropriate. Because the trick here, the intricacy, is the connection between these big long-term dreams and what we are doing this year. If a student says, I want to be a video game designer, that's the post-secondary goal. But the coordinated set of activities on the IEP needs to bridge the gap. If they want to design video games, but they are reading 3 grade levels behind, the coordinated activity might be instruction in reading comprehension strategies to understand technical manuals. See the connection? We also need to look at community experiences. Are we teaching them how to use the subway? How to get a library card? How to navigate their neighborhood safely? If a student has travel training on their IEP, that is a massive part of transition.
Post-scanning the room.
The most common mistake I see is a disconnect. The student wants to be a chef, but the annual goals are all about generic math facts. Let's make sure our annual goals support the transition goals. If they want to be a chef, maybe that math goal involves measurement, fractions, or budgeting. That's how we make the IEP a living document, as the SOPM intends. Okay, shifting gears to progress monitoring, which is due December 15th. Now, I know data collection creates anxiety, but let's look at this through the lens of the SOPM. The manual states that reports on progress toward annual goals must be provided to parents. At a minimum, these must be provided at the same frequency as report cards. Here is what we are looking for by the 15th. We need to know specifically how the student is doing on the goals we wrote last spring or whenever their IEP was held. Please avoid vague statements like, student is making progress. We need the criteria. If the goal says 85% accuracy over 5 trials, your progress report should say something like, currently performing at 60% accuracy based on 3 classroom assessments. This protects you. If a parent asks, why isn't my child meeting their goals? You have the data right there. It shows you are monitoring, you are adjusting, and you are aware. If you open up CSIS and realize a goal from last year makes absolutely no sense for the student right now, come see me. We can talk about how to handle that. But we have to report on it. Now, let's put my UFT hat on for a moment. I know I just asked for a lot. Transition planning, vocational interviews, detailed data collection. It's a lot of work. But I want to remind you of the time you have been contractually allocated to do this. We are very fortunate here at JHS 185 that our administration respects the UFT contract regarding professional activity periods. According to Article 7 of our contract, you have specific periods designated for professional work. Specifically, you have 2 periods a week designated as perform student assessment activities. We call these our IEP writing periods. This is your time for CSIS. This is your time to write those transition goals. This is your time to input that progress monitoring data. Please do not do this work at home on a Sunday night if you have these periods open. You also have 2 additional periods defined as self-directed, unassigned professional activity periods. These are for you to determine what you need. Need to collaborate with a gen ed teacher about a student's behavior? Need to grade assessments to get the data for the progress report? This is your time. And that is in addition to your 5 preparation periods. So, when you look at your schedule, remember, you have 4 periods a week outside of prep time that are designed for exactly the work we discussed today. The contract put them there to prevent burnout and to ensure quality special education services. Please utilize them. Conclusion. To wrap up, transition goals, check the ages, connect the dream to the daily instruction.
Progress monitoring due December 15th.
Be specific. Use data, your time. Use your IEP writing and self-directed periods. Protect your prep time and protect your personal time. I am available all day. If you are stuck on a transition goal phrasing, if you aren't sure how to log a vocational assessment, or if you just want to double-check a regulation, please do not hesitate to come to me. My door is always open for questions, support, or just to brainstorm. Thank you for everything you do for our students. Let's have a great week. To wrap up, transition goals. Check the ages. Connect the dream to the daily instruction. Progress monitoring due December 15th. Be specific. Use data. Your time. Use your IEP writing and self-directed periods. Protect your prep time and protect your personal time. I am available all day. If you are stuck on a transition goal, phrasing, if you aren't sure how to log a vocational assessment, or if you just want to double check a regulation, please do not hesitate to come to me. My door is always open for questions, support, or just to brainstorm. Thank you for everything you do for our students. Materials referenced in this video will be shared with you. Thanks again for all you do. Let's have a great week.